Sean here. Welcome back to the Emma and Sean YouTube channel. In today's video, I want to build some twig stoves. I have never built twig stoves and I've seen a lot of people use them, and I think I've overlooked them because I've always used butane or propane stoves. But there's a few reasons why you might want to try a twig stove. So the first reason is that propane and butane stoves rely on higher ambient temperatures to operate. Because they're gas stoves, the gas needs a high enough temperature to actually create high enough pressure in the tank to operate the stove. With the twig stove, you're not relying on ambient temperature. The twigs will burn at any temperature. So the second reason is that with twig stoves, you don't have a set amount of fuel, and then once that fuel is gone, you don't have anything to cook with anymore. With the twig stove, as long as there's sticks on the ground or twigs that you can put in the stove, you're in business. Also, twig stoves are just kind of cool. So I was at Home Depot and I saw these 1 gallon empty paint cans, and I want to try making 2 stoves. One basic design just uses the standard pit with holes in it and some cross members. One that's wind resistant. So this is how they're going to work. The normal stove is just going to have holes drilled all around the base, and then it's going to have a cross member on the top and holes drilled right around the top. For the windproof stove, what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually drill those holes around the base, but then I'm going to suspend an empty can in the inside of this with some hardware I picked up. And I'm going to have holes drilled in both the outside edges of this paint can and on the outside edges of the green bean can. I picked up this aluminum cross member, and I'm going to use that for the support for the pots that go on top of these stoves. So the general idea is that I'm going to cut a square hole in the side of this, and that's going to be the door to put the sticks in. That's going to be the same on both of these twig stoves. There we go. Now I'm just going to file that down so I don't cut myself. The edges are pretty sharp. Well, that looks a lot better. So we don't want to smother the fire by putting the cooking pot directly onto the stove. So we want some way to lift it off so that there's a gap between the pot and the top of the stove. And I know I do have these holes here, but we just want more airflow. The more airflow, the better. You really don't want to have a stove that's being choked because you'll have a lot of smoke, and also you won't get as hot of a flame. So I'm going to use this aluminum as a crisscross, going across this way and then going across this way, and I'm going to set it into the stove. And I want the aluminum to go a little past the edges so it can hold something that's wider than the stove itself. I'm actually just going to divide this into 4 sections. That way we have enough for both. If you don't have a measuring tape, one way you can find the center of something like this is you can put your fingers on the outside and then slowly move them in. And as you move them in, one will stay in place and the other will slip. One will stay in place, the other will slip until you get right to the center. So right here is the center. It's the rough center, it doesn't need to be perfect. There we are. There we go. There we go. Got that cross member. Let's see if we can cut the can with this.
I just wanted to show you the
Yeah? Oh, I'd like to see it. Yeah.
I'm excited to try this. Do a competition of the 2.
Now it's time to build the wind-resistant version. There we go. Oh yeah, we already have the other washer in there, so I'm gonna... Well, and that's that. The stoves are complete. Well, it is the next day, and I'm here with Emma, and we are going to do a quick test of these 2 stoves to see which one performs better. And we're gonna make sloppy joes. Get some twigs. So we're making sloppy joes and baked beans today. And we brought cast iron pan and a steel pot. You know, some of these stoves have bigger openings on the side. Oh, can I throw it in? That worked.
Whew.
Let's let the plastic burn off the inside of that paint.
Yeah,
The
let's
paint-
let
the
the
paint
fire
coating.
burn now a little bit.
Wow, look at that. So I'm glad that I actually put this on the piece of plywood here because it's actually burning through. Uh-oh, is it catching the wood on fire? Goodness gracious, that could be a problem if it gets so hot that it catches our plywood on fire.
Should we move to the
Yeah, let's
ground?
blow this out and move it to the ground. Wow, that must be really hot. It definitely burns out quicker than I was hoping, but I guess that's kind of how it works. I think I like the stove with the more contained fire. I hope the aluminum can take the heat. the top is aluminum, this piece right here.
Uh-huh. Oh, okay.
Oh, I hear it cooking. It's a good sign, isn't it?
Right.
This is working really well. Because it doesn't smother it as much. I mean, it doesn't smother it terribly with this. Honestly, there's not a lot of smoke. The majority of the smoke is coming off of the plywood. Yours is not on fire because there's not as much wood on the ground.
Yeah.
I like that design more.
The real challenge is
Keeping fuel.
keeping this fueled while also making sure that you're not burning the food.
It smells so good, doesn't it? Have you smelled this? Can you smell it? Oh, over there.
I can't smell it.
The wind's taking it the other way. Yeah. There we go.
Oh, look at that toastiness.
Look at that good food. I'd say the stove works pretty well. This is very good. Well, I think the end consensus is pretty clear. I originally built this can suspended off the bottom, you know, thinking that this would be an extra shield for any wind coming through. But honestly, what it served best as is preventing heat from getting to the surface underneath it. This is like 1/2 inch or 3/8 inch plywood, and the fire easily burned through this in like 10 minutes. Well, if you guys like this stove video, make sure to check out our projects and gear playlist where we have lots of videos just like this. And remember to subscribe, and we'll see you guys in the next video.